Hey everybody, welcome to the Entrepreneur Motivation Podcast. I'm your host, Chris Bello, and I'm recording this freaking video for the second time because I did it on my iPhone earlier, and for some reason the video and the audio aren't matching up when I edited it. So, in any case, coming at you again. This is how life is sometimes. You're going to try stuff, you're going to think it's going to work on the first time. It's not. You're going to have to redo it, but know that every time you do it again, you get better. So, here I am doing it again. This time I'm recording the audio to my iPhone, but I've got my Canon camera that I know is more reliable and won't mess up on me. So today I want to talk about how we need to take this time to connect with others, because social distancing and all of that, it's easy to feel lonelier if you're just all working from home and staying at home all day. So I went for a little walk this morning when I did my first film attempt. And I went for another little walk just now, just to get outside of the house, just to do something new. And one way that it's really cool to connect with people is a Zoom call. And I know people have used Skype. I've used Skype back in the day, but I'm a Zoom fanboy for sure right now. It's just so easy to use. You can send a link out. People can connect with you. I even did a Zoom meeting yesterday evening with my mastermind group. For those who've been listening to the podcast for a while, you know I have a mastermind in Houston, and we usually meet one or two times a month pretty frequently. Of course, now with the whole social distancing, events getting canceled and all of that stuff, we are taking more precautions, and we did a Zoom call yesterday. And it was actually kind of nice because usually my accountability partner, my friend in Dallas, he's not able to make it to the Houston one since he's obviously in Dallas, 4-hour drive probably. Because we did a Zoom call, I could send him the link, and he was able to join us and kind of meet the other entrepreneurs that I meet with more frequently face to face. And it was just a time of everyone connecting, seeing how everyone's doing, sharing strategies, seeing how we can work together during this time to support each other. And it was funny because I'm working at the home office right now with my girlfriend, not now making this video or podcast for you, but like this week. With the whole social distancing going on, and working from the office, she can kind of hear some of my Zoom calls and some of the things that I've been doing. And one funny thing is that she can hear when I get on a call. So I started off the call by saying, "Okay guys, happy crappy, let's get started." And she looked back at me just thinking what are you talking about? And so what I was talking about and how we start off our mastermind meetings, we do something called happy crappy. We start off with one happy thing that happened to each of us, and we start off with one crappy thing that happened to each of us, just to kind of, and it's not to highlight the negativity. We're just saying one thing that we like that has gone really well, and one thing that hasn't gone so well. That's basically what it's about. So another thing to keep in mind is that when you talk about these things, it helps us solve problems together and also focus on the wins, not just the losses. So everyone's crappy basically was the current situation we're in, and how business has kind of fallen off a cliff for some people just because of the massive amount of uncertainty and fear, and people are panicking over toilet paper. There's going to be less people, especially the people who are panicking over toilet paper. How likely is it that they're going to want to do something like buy a house or buy a car or anything like that? So those are all things that we need to navigate through and work through. One of the business owners actually said he had the tough conversation with 7 or 8 people on his team. He had to tell them that he's not able to pay them for a week because there's just no business. They went from getting 20 phone calls a day and leads a day to the phone being silent. Everything's kind of on pause. Everything's kind of on hold for the time being, which is pretty nuts if you think about it. If people are staying busy and now all of a sudden their phones are quiet, that's not good for sure. So the faster we can get past this situation, the better it's going to be for everybody involved. The longer this drags out, the more difficult it's going to be for everybody involved. One thing you can do during this time while we're social distancing and staying away from people in physical meetings and conferences, you can do stuff like Zoom calls, touch base with people. There are different levels of communication. So obviously you can send a letter, handwritten, or maybe just a typed letter to people in your network, and that's cool, but it's just text on paper. If you do a Facebook message or a text message, that's another level of connecting and seeing how people are doing. But of course, you can send mass messages. It's not too difficult to do, but you can reach people. You get pretty good response rates. To take it another step, you can do Zoom calls or video calls or FaceTime meetings. And you can just touch base with people, maybe even send a video message, because that way they can see your emotions, your face, your gestures, your environment. Like if you guys are watching the video on YouTube instead of listening to the podcast, you can see my environment. I'm just kind of around. There's like a little school building behind me. There's some houses. I'm on a little bench over here just chilling. I've got my iPhone headphones in. And you can see more of what I'm doing in the time that I'm actually taking versus a text where you can do that while you're watching a movie or something. It doesn't take as much time, and so therefore it doesn't really mean as much usually to somebody else. So one of my messages, and I know I said video calls and stuff and video messages are the way to go to get that FaceTime connection. I've been reaching out to people on my Facebook who I haven't talked to in years. Some of them, I'm just opening up my friends list and I'm just going down the list, opening 15 to 20 new tabs a day and just connecting with people I haven't talked to in forever, as well as people who I've talked to more frequently, asking how they're doing, checking in, seeing how I can help, seeing if they want to jump on a Zoom call and just connect. And I'm not asking for real estate, I'm not asking for business, I'm just seeing how I can help. And I'm truly wanting to just connect with them and be kind of top of mind, let them know that I'm thinking of them and that I'm willing to help however I can. And then in the event that they need real estate, or that it comes up in conversation, or they know someone who needs some help with real estate, then awesome. You know, the more the merrier. Like the more people I can help, the happier I'm going to be. And that's been my strategy every day. I've been communicating, reaching out to people, focusing on content creation, like sitting here on this bench right now in the middle of the day making this video because I forgot again to release it by 8 a.m. this morning like I planned. So making content. Also creating content for real estate. I've previewed a few homes. I've made some videos of vacant homes for my real estate Facebook page. And a pro tip here that my accountability partner, Sam in Dallas, shout out to you, Sam, he gave me this cool tip that he heard, is that if you put a video or something on a business page or a fan page on Facebook, let it sit there and gain traction and engagements and likes and views for 24 hours. And once it starts to slow down a little bit, share that to your personal Facebook page and network. That way you can kind of revive it, push it a little further, get more views, get more engagements. I did this with 2 videos last week of 2 different houses that I looked at, and one of them actually got 8 shares. So my friend whose house he did the flip on it, he shared it. His realtor who listed the house shared it. I think his wife also shared it. My mom shared it. It's got like 8 shares. So the 2 videos I posted last week using this technique from posting it on the business page and then on my Facebook page, they both have 400 or 500, maybe even 600 views already, maybe like 10 likes, but you can see the engagements. People are clicking on the video, they're watching it. They might be clicking through the listing to see the house, and the house has my name and contact information on there if they do want to see it in person. So I'm just taking action, I'm creating content, I'm putting things out there in the world. And I'm making it scalable. Because see, I'm sitting here talking to you guys now. If I were on a phone call, that would be cool too, but I would only be talking to one person. The fact that I'm making this video and I'm going to share it with who knows how many people, and maybe 8 people will share it, it's going to get more views, more traction. I'm going to be able to, like, you can watch this video 2 months from now, 5 months from now. You can watch it today when I release it. It's got more shelf life and it's more scalable because more and more people are going to be able to see it than if I just do these phone calls one-on-one all day long. And that's why eventually I'd like to, on top of having a podcast and a YouTube channel that I'm growing, I want to do more conferences and public speaking once we can get back in face-to-face environments again without this virus being an issue, because 1 to many is way more scalable. If I could talk to 1,000 people in front of a stage, or 10,000 people with 1 hour of time, I basically get 10,000 hours of content because 10,000 people are listening to my message, versus having to do 10,000 1-hour phone calls to deliver the same message. You see if that makes sense? This episode, now that I'm doing it a second time, it's totally different than the first one that I recorded this morning that didn't end up working out for you. But yeah, just get on Zoom calls. It's easy to set up a free account. I think if you don't have the premium, you can only do a 40-minute call if you've got more than 3 people on a call. But for one-on-one calls, it's like unlimited. You can record the video session or the audio, post it on social media, share it. That's basically what I do with my podcast. I have a 1-hour amazing conversation with an entrepreneur, with someone that I want to connect with. And then I share that with other people so that they can be a fly on the wall and they can also learn from whatever it is that we talked about. So take this time to reflect on your goals and reflect on maybe things that you need to change or pivot in your business. Get more creative. Don't just sit on the sidelines and panic and read the freaking news and freak out. Like, do what you can to take control of the things that you actually can control. We can control staying inside and slowing the spread of this virus. We can't control the fact that there is a virus that's spreading very rapidly, you know? I mean, I'm not a doctor. I don't have any experience in like coming up with a cure, and it's going to take forever for me to go through the school and stuff and figure it out in time to take care of this crisis. But there are people in place who are looking at these problems and solving those daily. So instead I look at, hey, what can I control? Gyms are closed. I'm going to go for a jog. Like I'm going to do push-ups at home. I'm going to put a bunch of books in my girlfriend's backpack and make it weigh 30 pounds and do curls and tricep curls and bent over rows and squats with the backpack on the front of my chest. I'm going to do stuff like that to take control of things that I can. I'm going to create content. I'm going to make videos. I'm going to connect with people on my network. I'm going to make more podcasts. I am going to do the things that I can in order to take action. And then for anyone who's interested in seeing homes, I can do virtual tours. You know, there's so many things that you can still do. And if you're out of a job, if you've gotten laid off and you can't really work remotely from whatever job that you had, maybe see what you can do to collect some income in the meantime. You know, there are places hiring temporarily just due to the demand, like grocery stores. It's not glamorous, but you can get $15, $17 an hour jobs right now temporarily because people need help to handle all of the demand in the people coming into the stores right now. So you might have to do something a little less glamorous, but you also have a little more time while you're stuck at home to think of ideas to start working on something else that maybe you're more passionate about, and start to invest in courses and take action. And now is the time to connect with people you haven't talked to in a long time. Stay top of mind in your network, continue to share, create content on social media, learn, grow, meal prep, do a little more cooking, do a little more grilling at home. I made steaks, I made ribs the other day, I just made burger patties last night, made a bunch of grilled chicken, and then finally, I want to support small businesses too, so I've been doing a couple orders with my girlfriend of Uber Eats, you know, local places like Vietnamese food, Mexican food, stuff like that. So support your businesses however you can as well, but of course, if you're trying to tighten the belt a little bit, tighten the purse strings and really cut down on the expenses, do a little more meal prepping, be a little more conscientious, go through your credit card statements, see what kind of recurring subscriptions you can cut right now, but also focus on making money. One thing that I heard a few entrepreneurs I follow say recently, and it's really just changed my whole paradigm, it's not a debt problem, it's an income problem. A lot of people think if you save $5 a day from not going to Starbucks, you're going to be successful, and it's important to watch what you spend your money on, but wouldn't you rather make so much money that you could spend $5 a day on coffee and enjoy it and not have to worry about how much you could save if you didn't have that coffee every day? That's where my mind is. I'm looking at making so much money that I can have that coffee every day without feeling guilty. That's where my mind's going. So just change your paradigm, change the way you think, and focus on the things that matter in your life. So that's all I have for you today. I'm going to start heading home because I'm getting a little sweaty out here. If you guys have any questions, comments, concerns, hit me up. I'm going to be working from home and just taking action, like I said, continuing to take massive action and doing everything I can. But yeah, that's about it for today. I'll talk to you on the next episode of the Entrepreneur Motivation Podcast. Make sure to download my free guide, chrisbello.com/free. Leave me a good rating, share this with a friend, do all that stuff that you normally do. And if you have any questions, if there's anything you want to talk about, if you want to just jump on a Zoom call, I'm down to jump on a couple Zoom calls with random listeners and just talk through things and see how we can mastermind on stuff. So I'll talk to you all later. Thanks again for listening. Bye.